really interesting idea. I wanted to have a car and go shopping with a car in a supermarket. So I thought it would be a kind of a better life in the suburbs, and we moved to New Jersey. And I have really never identified with New Jersey, sadly. I find life was more interesting in Manhattan.
It was in Manhattan that you were almost gunned down.
Oh, yeah. That was with Thad, my husband, and we went to the Thalia, was a movie house, 95th and Broadway. I had a new car. I had just gotten a new car, a LeBaron, I forget who made it. Very pretty car, two-tone. So Thad and I, after the movie, were sitting in the front seat drinking coffee, talking about the movie. And I remember thinking, you know, we really shouldn't have the windows open. But I didn't say anything. Then the next thing I knew, these two men came to the window, which was open. And they took a gun and put it at Thad's throat and said to Thad, "Get out of the car." And time seemed to really stop. And I noticed I had my wallet on the dashboard, and the other man came around to the other window, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and then he walked away. And I remember thinking, what's going to happen now? Am I going to get out of the car? Am I not going to get out of the car? All this was very quick. And without thinking about it, I took my cup of coffee and I threw it in the guy with the gun's face, the one who had. Thad said this kind of changed the momentum. So he put his hand on the horn and honked, and the man said something like, "Stop that honking," but Thad didn't stop the honking. So the two of them just very quietly walked away. And then somebody came out and said, "Should I call the police?"
You could have said, "No, but could you please get me another cup of coffee?"
I remember I was quite young. I was 10, 11, 12. I was in a hammock in my neighbor's yard. And I was lying in the hammock and looking at the sky. And I suddenly realized that death was nothing to be afraid of, because I was the same as the sky, and I could never die, because I was like everything and everything was like me. So my identity became cosmic, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word. And that's how I felt. At that moment there was no fear, which was unique for me.
Is there anything that you feel you'd like to pass on to?
That always makes me want to cry. First of all, it's so personal that it's hard to tell anybody. But
Which, that last memory?
yeah. Yeah, it really makes me want to cry, but I'm not going to cry.
You are crying.
I am crying. Well, in that case, I'll put my glasses on.
It's all right to cry.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
crying along with you.
What I think is the worst thing is when you show yourself and the response you get is they mock you. They either can get sarcastic or imitate you or sneer or just show somehow that you feel really like nothing. And that's the fear, I think, of being, not even being booed, but being scorned.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I think the worst thing, because it makes you feel so dumb.
Did this happen to you at a particular time in your life? I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's happened to me when I was younger. I remember the little thing, once someone sent me out, a bunch of things. My sister used to have a game she would play with her friends that they didn't know who I was. And I would say, it's me. And they would say they didn't know me. That was not a nice game. And another thing, once my sister and her friends gave me a drink, like Coca-Cola, but they put all kinds of terrible things in it. and it tasted terrible. But I drank it, and then they told me what they had done. And so, that kind of thing, and even little things like, I think they once asked me to get a hanger, and I came in with like 12 hangers, and they made me feel so stupid. So those are the things I can remember. And people do that.
Do you want to say anything now that you're in that wig?
How do I look?
I don't know who you are.
Gives you a southern accent? Yeah.
Dolly Parton.
Yes.
Want to be Dolly Parton?
I want to be Vivian Lee.
Oh, sorry.
That's what she said in Gone with the Wind. How do I look?
I was
Okay, that's it.
think about tomorrow.
It's a success. To what?
To us.
To us.
To us.
Who is the goddess?
To money.
Inspiration.
To money.
Money.
To love.
To love.
To us with money.
And friendship.
To love.
Use.
To us with friendship and money.